Hi, I'm Mama Casper. Welcome back, Radical Homemakers. Today is episode 3 of the Building a Cottage in the Woods series. Hi, I'm Mama Casper. Welcome to my channel, Rematriate. This is a life way channel for radical homemakers. Here, we talk about creating a life made by hand. A life made by hand is one where we, each of us, individually, and even more importantly, as members of a community web of care, live in relationship with our sacred land. We make and we grow everything that we need in our lives by the slow and patient work of our own hands. We will together gain and share skills, always learning how to meet each of our needs in this way. Here on Rematriate, we talk about how we each, both as individuals and together joining in community, can escape from this sick, evil society that we live in. This sick, evil society that we are all trapped in. I call our sick society wetico culture, a term which was coined by Indigenous scholar Jack Forbes. All radical homemakers are escaping wetico culture to make ourselves a home. This place is my beautiful home in the Canadian countryside. I call this place WilderNesst. This video is part of my cottage build series. I'm so excited to share my journey with you as I build my own home. This has been my dream since I was a child in the 1970s, watching Grizzly Adams and Little House on TV. To build my own home in the wilderness where I can live a quiet, slow, sustainable, and peaceful life. I've been trying to do this for decades, but over and over, I've had so many obstacles in my path. I have been distracted, confused, and wasted time and energy heading in the wrong direction. It very nearly destroyed me. And now, as a woman in my 50s, with almost no money, and with physical disabilities, I'm finally building my dream, finally building my home. I believe that all humans can do this. Come along with me. You can also be a radical homemaker here on Rematriate. So, it's quite the hike back here from the house. Up and down 4 or 5 pretty big hills. The first one down from the house is a doozy. You got to watch out for that one. But this is my neighborhood where I'm finally building myself a little studio cottage in the woods. A place of my own where I can have peace and quiet and refreshment for my soul. And I am going to take you along with me on this process because this is a healing process for me, healing from all of the many things that have been done to me in my life, and also healing from being raised in wetico culture. And this is my escape hatch. Come along with me and let's have a look at the spot where I'm going to be building the studio cottage. So this vaguely flattish spot at the bottom of this slope is where I'm planning on building the first building that I'm going to be building here in the backwoods. Eventually, there's going to be a lot more of them. Eventually, it is my intent to build a small, basically a tiny house for each of my 5 children. And that way, they will also have an escape hatch from wet culture. I'm gonna take my shirt off, even though the bugs are brutal right now, because it is hot. It just goes to show you how quickly 6 weeks changes things back here in our forest here in Canada. We've gone from deep snow to what I consider unbearable heat of 26 degrees Celsius, and it's the May 2-4 weekend, as we call it here in Canada, Victoria Day at the end of May, and it's the 18th of May right now, and the bugs are out. So the first set of infrastructure that I have to make in order to be able to spend time back here this summer and slowly chip away at building this summer, next summer, the summer after, because as I said, this is a long-range plan, and I'm doing this by myself as a middle-aged woman, so it's going to take me time, because I only have weekends. I work full-time. So I have to set up a little campsite back here so that I can have a fire, and I have to site it so that it is to the west of where I want to build, so that I can light a fire, put cedar branches on it, and bathe the area with cedar smoke. I'm going to smudge, which is a practice that First Nations people have been using for many, many thousands of years in order to deal with these bugs. Now, in their managed forest home landscapes, they didn't have as many bugs because they didn't have this kind of forest. This is second growth. This has all been cut at least once before. This would originally have been old growth Carolinian forest, but it isn't anymore because of what the invaders did. And I'm part of that because most of my genetic heritage is Western European, primarily Scandinavian and British. I have Dutch, Irish, English, and I have a little bit of Mohawk in me from my mom. So I am what has resulted after the last 500 years of invasion, and now I finally get to start to make this wilderness my true home. So today, I don't know how much I'm going to get done because, as I said, the bugs are brutal, the heat's brutal, but I am going to make a spot to hang a couple of chairs back here so I don't have to drag them back and forth. I'm going to start clearing a little bit, as much as I can get done, and I am going to use my compass to figure out where north is so I can figure out where west is, so I can figure out where the prevailing winds will be coming from, so I can site my campsite and my campfire site so that when I light that fire, it will smudge the area so that I can work back here. Let's get to work. Okay, so I have been on this land now for 14 years or so, and I thought I knew roughly where north was and where west was, and I am very pleased to discover that I was roughly correct. So our property is long and skinny, and it basically runs diagonally from west to east. Not exactly, but roughly. And what I thought was south, which is that way, I'm correct. So the thoughts that I'd had about where I might want to put this campsite Papa Bear's right, this is not a very good compass. He checked it to make sure that it was correct up by the house where we know exactly where north is. But yeah, south is that way, which means that west is that way, uphill. And this is a compound slope. There's a big slope running this way, and then there's also one running this way down. And then it eventually goes back up again once it gets further to the north. So I've got to think about drainage when I decide exactly where to build this. And I had thought about putting it roughly where this flat area is, but I'd never been back here with a compass. And when I was originally thinking about this, I didn't know about a rubble trench foundation, which is what I'm going to be using, because it's all about drainage. I have learned a lot over the years about natural building, but rubble trench foundations are new to me. I've only learned about them this year. And I am determined that that is what I'm going to use. There is going to be no below grade living spaces. Nothing within the building envelope will ever be below grade. I may dig cellars at some point. In fact, I almost certainly will. But I'm thinking that it might actually make sense to have those be separate and definitely not part of the building envelope. So, I want to work with the grade. I want my building site to drain very easily. So I'm thinking I might actually go up to the top of this slope when I build. And I think I'm going to put the campsite roughly there. And that will make it easy for me to jig the trenches and work with the grade so that I get loads of drainage. And I may choose to leave this little flat area as it is. So I think, yeah, I've changed my mind after sitting here with the knowledge that I gained and looking at the site. And I've been rewatching the videos about rubble trench foundations. And yeah, it's all about drainage. So I think we're gonna go a little bit further to the west, and I think actually that'll be better because we'll catch more breezes. Down here in the saddle, there's not as much wind. But yeah, these bugs are brutal. They're driving. Luckily, they don't really seem to bite me like they do Papa Bear. They attack him voraciously. He is like candy to them. But luckily, because I'm a woman, my body temperature is not quite as high. I don't breathe out quite as much. It's carbon dioxide that attracts them. And but yeah, I don't think I'm going to be spending no 6 hours back here today. Let's get to work. So, I changed my mind. I wandered around a little bit and I realized that right now, for starters, I just need a campsite where it's clear, because all over here on the west side of the road, there's no area that's clear enough and vaguely flat enough to set up a tent, which is my intent, mainly so that I have a bug-free refuge, and also so that I can put the campfire in front of it and smudge. But you know what? There's not really much wind back here, so I'm just going to clear this spot, which is actually on the east side of the road, a little higher up the hill, a little more to the south. And there's this relatively large-ish area that's kind of sort of mostly clear. So I found a spot over there to hang chairs on the tree, and I'm going to leave the chairs back here. I'm going to start slowly bringing things out here. And right now, I just need to make myself a campsite, and we'll see how much I can get done before I go insane.
Life is a winding road, no telling where it goes. Driving through days and nights, won't stop for traffic lights.
got enough of the sticks picked up now that I can start to rake the place to clear it a little bit more.
If I'm falling down, I will keep on searching for my highs. You can say I lost my mind, I will keep on holding my head high, even if the sky is falling down. Jumping from cliffs so high, trusting our wings to fly. Sometimes we're crashing down, but we get up and start from the ground. And I really wanna know if I'll ever figure out where the road goes. Even if I'm falling down, I will keep on searching for my highs. You can say I lost my mind, I will keep on holding my head high, even if the sky is falling down. Even if the sky is falling down. The sky is falling down. Even if the sky is falling down. Even if the sky is falling down. The sky is falling down.
Timber! Huh. So, I was raking away, working hard, clearing the place up, getting rid of sticks, piling them over there, because I'm creating a firewood pile for my campfire. I took down a small tree and then a tiny tree, continuing to work away, sweaty, covered in bugs, and I found treasure! Come and look, come and look. At least, I happen to think that this is treasure. Maybe you will too. Isn't she beautiful? We do have trilliums back here at the end of May, every year, but not a lot of them. Where I grew up, on my Nana's farm, which is about an hour and a half's drive away from here, our whole woods would be full, just absolutely full, like carpeted with trilliums when I was a child. But I mean, that was back in the 70s. That's, 45, 50 years ago. So we don't have quite so many nowadays. They are endangered. But every time I find one, it's another indicator species for this being Carolinian forest. We are the farther northernmost range of the Carolinian forest, and I want to get as many native species back here as possible eventually, once I have my little cottage built. That's the long range plan anyway. Well, that's about all I can handle today. I am so hot and sweaty. And, yeah, the bugs are starting to drive me. So, and it's getting late in the day, and I gotta head back to the city to work tomorrow. So, I'm gonna pack up and head back to the house. But I feel like I got something accomplished anyway. We've got the beginnings of a little campsite area where, Excuse me, spring allergies. I'm allergic to tree pollen. But I've got the beginnings of a spot now where we can start to have a little pied à terre. Thank you for sharing this time with me here on my channel, Rematriate. Rematriate is a Lifeway channel for radical homemakers creating a life made by hand, escaping wetico culture to make ourselves a home. And all of my videos are made entirely by humans, made by hand. This is my pledge of authenticity to you. I never use AI to write or to generate or to voice any of my videos. So I'm walking up the hill with the wagon and more treasure. She's tiny, but she's a little wild yellow violet. And right here is an even tinier white wild violet. Had to share. So much beauty. This video was filmed by Mama Cass Bear, presented by Mama Cass Bear, edited by Mama Cass Bear. The title images at the beginning and end of each video were drawn on paper with pencil crayons by Mama Cass Bear. The music all comes from my monthly subscription to Epidemic Sound and was made by humans. I do not use, and I won't ever use, any of the AI tools that they offer there or that are offered anywhere else. These videos will always be authentic Mama Cass Bear. I'm getting better at making these videos, but I do make loads of mistakes. I'm not perfect. I'm human, just like you are. These videos are about my authentic human story. I make them to express myself and to connect with other humans like you. If you want to join our tiny community of radical homemakers and that journey to a life made by hand, then please subscribe to Rematriate. I look forward to seeing you back here again.